888-0810. I'm a lawyer. You got legal problems. I got open lines. I love clients. And I'm giving legal advice away. I'm not taking credit cards, no checks. It's free. Thank you, KGO. Call me up, 808-0810. Pick up the phone right now, 808-0810. Bob in Orinda. Len Tillem, KGO. Bob, how come you're calling a lawyer?
Len, I got a trumped-up citizen's arrest by a meter maid, and I'm wondering what kind of recourse I have.
Wait. Tell me the story. A meter maid arrested you?
Yeah. You know, I'm dining out at a little outdoor cafe. My vehicle's parked right on the street, 10 feet away from me. I'm reading my paper. She comes along on foot. You know, I saw her out of the corner of my eye, and I jumped up, ran around. I mean, it's kind of on a busy street, so there's noise. So I tapped her on the shoulder as I was coming around. I said, "Hey, I got a quarter right here. I'm settling up my bill. Can I just put a quarter in a meter?" She says, "No, I'm already punching. I'm already in the process." And I was kind of annoyed, but I didn't say anything. And I was like, "Okay, fine." You know, I went back and finished my breakfast. And one of the patrons from the restaurant came out and said, "Hey, that was really unfair. You know, if you want me to be a witness to that and you want to fight that ticket, you know, I'd be glad to do that." And I said, "No, you know, it's not that big a deal. You know, it's a parking ticket. I'm not really, you know, it's not the first, won't be the last." So she wanders down to ticket another car. I see her out of the corner of my eye. I settle my bill. I go across the street to another merchant for 5 minutes, come back, get in my car, pull away, and the next thing you know, there's a police car right on me, you know, with lights going. Pulls me over. And I get out of the car because I'm wondering what's going on. I just pulled out from the side of the road, and he puts me in handcuffs and says, "You're under arrest for assault and battery."
Wait a minute, because you tapped the meter maid?
Because I tapped the meter maid.
Let me ask you a question. This is very important. When you ran up to the meter and you were going to put a quarter into it, she was already punching the ticket into her machine?
She was in the yes, she was. She had her little handheld, and she was punching.
Did you
away,
ask her? Wait. Did you talk to her first and say, "Could I put the quarter in?" She says no, turns around, and then you tapped her?
No, I just kind of brushed. You know, I just jumped up from my breakfast, brushed her back with me, and I just come, "Hey, just a second." I just tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Hey, just a second. I got a quarter right here." And that was pretty much it.
In a way, you screw it. See, parking enforcement officers, meter maids are law enforcement officers. They're like cops. Mm-hmm. And once she was, you know, tapping in the ticket, you were lost. She saw the meter was, you know, it said expired on it.
Correct.
Yeah, and you kind of made a federal case out of it and wound up getting arrested. You know, you argued with her. You're not allowed to touch a cop. You know, you should not touch him. You got to live. You can afford to dine in a cafe and read a paper, so you can't afford. You work. You're not going to get a public defender on this, right?
No. I'm just wondering. I mean, can I be handcuffed? And
yeah, it's a misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor. You know,
a citizen's arrest, though. Can I touch anybody and then call and say I want to make a citizen's arrest? I mean, thank God I had witnesses. Everybody at the restaurant came out and said this is outrageous. Thank God they let me off, you know? I mean, because
any kind of a touching can be an assault and battery. You got any as a battery, as a touching, an unlawful touching.
Okay.
Did you touch her really hard?
No, there was no malicious intent at all. I just tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Hold on, let me grab a quarter."
You better find some witnesses. What do you do for a living, Bob?
I'm in sales.
Yeah, you don't need no misdemeanor conviction on your record. You know, this is a misdemeanor, right? So, how much was bail?
It wasn't any bail. She decided, you know, the meter maid decided, well, you know, maybe it wasn't so bad, and, you know, and then once they talked to everybody at the Mexican restaurant was outraged that, you know, I'm being handcuffed and taken away. They saw the whole thing. They had a bird's eye view of the whole scenario.
All right, here's what happens. I got it. So, it sounds like it was unfair. You shouldn't, everybody out there in KGO land, don't touch a cop. Do not touch a cop. You want to shake a cop's hand? Offer your hand. If the cop wants to shake your hand, fine. Meter maids, do not touch them. I mean, you got that? All right, we learned that. You go to court before you hire a lawyer. You're going to have to show up in court. It's, you know, you show up.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll be dismissed and over, so you don't have to hire a lawyer. But if they're proceeding with a misdemeanor, you call me back. We'll talk about it, because you're going to need a lawyer for this one. You can beat this one, I think. But it might cost you $3-4 grand for a lawyer. Don't take a misdemeanor conviction now. It haunts you forever. You got it?
Right.
All right, that's the story.
All right.
What'd you learn from this, Bob?
I don't know.
Come on, what'd you learn?
I'm not touching anybody.
Don't touch anybody, right?
Right.
Really? Okay, that's the answer. That's don't touch a cop. They don't like it. They're cops, you know. I wouldn't like to be tapped on the shoulder. You know, if I'm standing in my office and somebody comes up to me and first of all, they're pissed at me because, you know, maybe I'm charging them too much or they don't like me as a lawyer, and they tap me on the shoulder, I wouldn't like it either. Great!